Hi guys, this is Sarah Murray, and I'm here to talk to you about your ideas. Trust me, I've been waiting so long I've been so excited to do this, and I've been working on your ideas and seeing what I can do for next year, what I can put in my platform to satisfy your ideas. So firstly, let's go to the issue of the delegation of everybody being in action, of everybody having the opportunity to really participate in JSA. So what we saw this year in logistics was a lot of people, or the only people really doing logistics were people in cabinet. So what I propose is that chapter presidents are highly recommended to serve logistics shifts, and that'll also help chapter presidents become more familiar with the procedures and rules with JSA, so they can help their chapter out more and help themselves out more. In addition, by doing the surveys that I've handed out with my flyers, I've already started to listen to your ideas, and so you're already participating in my platform, and I'm so proud to be able to say that. And next year, what I want to do is I want to have an online survey in which anybody can do, and you saw a little bit of that 2 years ago. I want to have a full online survey though of what you thought of the convention and what we can change, and so it'll be organized and we'll be able to see it and make those changes. In addition to that, I'm looking to create a couple positions that deal with people's opinions and analyze what should be changed about JSA to respond to your ideas and your thoughts. Because we've always kind of considered your ideas, but we've never really taken action on them. And it makes everything better when everybody has the opportunity to be involved. And JSA is about having a voice, so let's make that happen actually in the government of JSA. So nextly, I will make sure that within the action, I will make sure that JSA, just as a side note, that JSA isn't too strict. I understand the whole point of JSA is to get teenagers like ourselves aware of political issues and to be able to have the opportunity to form their opinions. I also understand that JSA is us getting to know each other as teenagers, having fun. So I get that, so I won't be too strict. In addition, so let's move on to having a smaller, more effective, cohesive cabinet. So I will make that happen. This year we had about 110 people on cabinet, and that expanded. And so I'll have each member of cabinet have a very specific role, and I'll make the number of people on cabinet more limited, so I can do that. And I've seen that already with my campaign, that having less people working on something, working on a specific task on cabinet, can help. It's better to manage and better to communicate with each other. Otherwise, getting everybody involved to hear their opinions is fantastic. And a lot of you also talked about how you want somebody who cares about all aspects of JSA, and trust me, I do. In my opinion, or in my position as Deputy Chief of Staff, and I'm not trying to say this to sound pretentious, but I've had experience dealing with all of the departments, and I've come to understand what the departments do and have a real passion for that. And trust me, I do care so much about what each department does, and I won't ever forget that. So next, let's move on to this fantastic idea that some of you had about recycling bins at conventions. And I think that that's a fantastic idea, so it's done. we'll do it. It's going to be pretty easy. I've already looked up how to do it, and we can contact a company. Anyways, so it'll be pretty easy. And also, in addition to that, some of you said you wanted community service, more community and service incentives. So maybe if we have recycling drives through which chapters, or for which chapters can charge $10 to attend, or whatever money they make, half of it goes to JSA, half of it goes to their chapter, or most of it goes to their chapter. At least some of it goes to JSA, so we can provide more fundraising or more opportunities for scholarships to conventions. And a lot of you said that you want to see more of the cabinet members, to know more of what's going on with cabinets. So what I want to do next year is have a monthly article or webcast just like this about what each department has done that month and how we've taken your considerations into or really to heart, and what we've done to change JSA according to what you want. And so that'd be very, very easy. Nextly, a lot of you said that you want more people to be able to speak at conventions and to be able to have the confidence to do that. So first of all, I've mentioned before workshops for debating and workshops for thought talks. I have not, until this time, mentioned speaking workshops, and I think that that would be such a great idea. We can do that. We can do an interactive video before the convention and talk about how one can best speak. And before I started debating, this would have been really helpful to me, actually. So for those of you who are a bit shy of speaking, I think that this would be really great. And at the conventions, we'll have a speaking workshop, so you can understand best how to relay yourself and to be articulate. And in addition to that, a lot of you have talked about having more people be able to debate. And what I mean by that, it sounds just like what I just said, right? But what I mean by that is a lot of you have expressed that debates are dominated by the same people, right? So what I want to do is have a priority system. And one of the chapter presidents mentioned to me that JSA could have debates run similarly to the National Forensics League, which runs competitive debate. So if any of you are a part of that, then this would model Congress-style debate. For those of you who aren't, don't worry about it. It's really fine. But what I mean by that is having a priority system. So let's say me and Gustavo from Downey High School go into a room to debate. I've already debated once, okay? So on my name tag, there would be an X next to my name, which means that if both of us would want to speak, Gustavo has priority. So we'll have limits on how many times that you can, speak per day, if necessary, for other people to be more incentivized to speak and feel more confident in their ability to speak, and for everybody to be able to share their ideas. Of course, that rule won't apply if nobody wants to speak on any side. Oh, and some of you have talked about the assembly. So the governor actually doesn't have control over the assembly. The speaker department is completely separate from the Senate and from the governors, or from the State Department. So what I will do, though, is I will work very hard with the speaker next year to make sure that the assembly is doing well. I will do what I can, definitely, to make sure that the assembly is going out there and making progress. And some of my ideas for that are that the governor, lieutenant governor, and speaker all sign up as lobbyists in San Francisco, which I've heard from Nick Jaber is pretty easy to do, and that chapter presidents start off within their communities to ask if maybe Yorba Linda can conserve more water, things like that. If we start out small, then we can really build upon that. I think that that's a better idea than just going after, the big shark. I think that that would be more difficult. Of course, these things aren't things that I can promise because it all relies on the speaker's approval. So I really hope that that's going to work, and I know that next year any speaker who wins is going to make a great assembly. Nextly, a lot of you stated that you want more events. So I'm going to implement mini-con incentives. So maybe according to how many people show up in the mini-con, maybe the chapter president and vice president can go to Spring State for free, or you guys will get some more JSA merchandise, things like that. That'll be definitely very easy, and let's all admit it, we love the mini-cons and we love the one-days, so we can make that happen more often, definitely. And so, nextly, a lot of you talked about having scholarships to go to conventions, and a lot of candidates have done that, or have talked about that at least. So what my plan is for fundraising next year, for the money that we make, is that the majority of the money that we make will go to will go to sponsorship for convention, or sponsoring chapters for conventions, and the rest of the money will go to fundraise, or will fund the fundraising activities. And one of the candidates in the past said that they would implement a need-based scholarship, so chapters would apply for that. I don't think that that ever happened, so what I will definitely do that again, and let me just write that down to make sure that I got that. So yeah, chapters and individuals can apply for need-based applications, and we can go through that, and I'll create even somebody within fundraising to have that position to go through that, talk with Tracy, who is our JSF coordinator, to make sure that you receive the money to go to conventions. Next. Oh, someone had such a great idea. This was Joel Ryan's idea. He said that he wants to, and this is on the issue of training, he wants to pair new moderators with expert trainer moderators. And I think that that would be a fantastic idea. So in their first debate, let's say an expert moderator, Karina Jugula, and a new JSA member who wants to learn how to moderate. Both of them go in and co-moderate, and Karina leads this new moderator in the moderating process. And so not only will you be able to practice in workshops, but you'll actually be able to do you'll actually be able to hold someone's hand through the process before we let you out into the moderating world. And I think that that's a great idea. And nextly, I want to talk about what a lot of you have suggested for what you want a governor to be next year. As I already stated, I will not be too strict. I understand that a lot of times we must be strict or that we must be professional, not strict, professional as an organization. And a lot of times we just gotta have fun, because in the end we're teenagers, and JSA is a youth organization, and we love to have fun. So I accept that, and I'm totally alright with it, and I totally love that. Next, someone stated that they wanted, or a lot of people stated that they want someone who has a solid plan, a working plan for reform for the future. And with my experience, again, I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but with my experience, I've learned what really can work, what the governor really can do. And so I believe that that greatly has enabled me to see what I can do. And in reform and making my platform, I talked to my platform manager, and we made sure that everything that we, put down on the platform, we could mostly implement. And I've also talked to Tracy, who again is our Southern California JSF advisor. And she's approved some of my fundraising ideas. And like I said, my experience allows me to know what I can do. In addition, somebody